And that's what's amazing about this. They don't all have the printing process is far beyond the competitors of this era. So the first tie top card is the tie top bat on shoulder variation. Now tie top red portrait, which is the most valuable for tie tops in this set. You have two. That one. Brown also is a tie top red portrait.
We're gonna mute whoever that is, and we're not all in your business. Whoever that is. There we go. All right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and get started here. Let me welcome everybody on YouTube real quick. And we'll get started with our introduction. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and turn it over to Sherranda Ivey first to start with her introduction, and then I'll go ahead and do mine if there's no other trainers on. Oh, I'm sorry, Chris Selig. So I'm sorry, Chris Selig. I'll do her introduction, and then I'll check for any other trainers, and then we'll go from there. So Miss Sherranda Ivey.
Awesome. Well, hello, everybody. Like I saw a lot of y'all in OKC. So we are just getting back, probably been here an hour or so, but I'm Sherranda Ivey out of Byron, Georgia, for those that don't know. Been with Legal Shield now. June will be our 9th year with the company, and I am the state trainer, CDLP state trainer for Georgia, Emory Elite Associate. We had the Production Achievement Award and for 1,000 apps, and now we have a pair, Field Trainer of the Year for 2019 and 2021. I think that's about it, but started to focus in this space, definitely with CDLP, and just got focused on this space, and my business really began to grow when I stopped being all over the place. So I really love getting up, helping commercial drivers every single day, whether it be companies or drivers. And so with that, I pass it over to Chris. Good seeing you this weekend, Chris. I don't think we got a picture, but
no, we missed out on that one.
It looks like you're doing a selfie now. Right. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing well, guys. Thank you so much. Well, my name is Christine Selig. I'm out of El Paso, Texas. Been with the business. I just celebrated 20 years with the company last month. So it's kind of ironic, 20 there, and then this last week, 50 with the company. So super exciting. Got to see Sherranda walk stage, Don Hoffman walk stage. It was pretty exciting to see that as well. 50K ring earner, 3,000 production award winner. I didn't go across stage for that, but I'm at 3,000 and something. And then what else? Was honored with top trainer of the year, participant this year also. And my focus is solutions, with about 75% being CDLP. So we just welcome each and every one of you to the call this evening and wish you all the best, the blessings and luck and everything else that comes along with it. And oh yeah, let's not forget Alan Roman went across stage many a times, even selling over 20,000 memberships, which is pretty, phenomenal. So congratulations to Sherranda getting her second Lady of Justice. I love it. Love it. And I got to see my buddy Jenkins up there as well. So thank you all. Robert, I'll turn it over to you.
All right, fantastic. Sherranda, do we have anybody else that joined us? That's a trainer. I don't see
No.
anybody. I'm looking.
Mm-mm. No,
Nobody else? Okay.
nope. John's not on. Alice said he's gonna start tapping in though.
Gotcha. Yeah. And I know John, I know he normally jumps in whenever he can get in here. So because it's a different time zone for him. So definitely appreciate that. So and I got all right. All right. So Robert Dunbar here, been with Legal Shield for 13 years. 100K ring earner, 250K ring earners on my team. Worked all areas of Legal Shield. Final stop was CDLP and trained on the networking and on the solution side. And the final stop was CDLP trainer. Like Sherranda, like Chris, really love this environment. We really love helping. I definitely think I can do more to help people in CDLP than I can in the other areas of Legal Shield. And I like that it's niche and it's not as many people doing it within this company, and it's not as much competition outside the company. So it's definitely a different space. Most of you all that have been here for any amount of time know that this is a very niche space, that what we do in this area as far as prospecting and closing deals is a little bit different than the regular side of solutions. Our decision makers are different on this side. So we just want you guys to have the proper information and know exactly how to go into those deals so that you don't confuse yourself when you're going in thinking that it's being closed like a regular group. So that's what we try to provide here. CDL, sales motivation, showing you guys how to go out, how to call, how to close the deal, how to do the paperwork, how to implement the plans, how to upsell, and Sherranda goes over how to go in with the small business plan first, if that's the approach that you want to take. So those are all things that we cover here, but today we are going to be celebrating those that went across the stage at convention. We're going to talk about some things that they did to get to that point. So if everybody who would like to walk the stage at the next conference, go ahead and put a 1 in the chat so I can make sure I'm talking to at least the right crowd. Do we have the right crowd here? If you're interested in walking across the stage at the next convention, please put a 1 in the chat, because the people who walk the stage, we're going to have them talk. Are the ones who are being recognized for things, we're going to have them talk so we can find out what they did in order to be on that stage at this past convention. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So we're going to get started first. Let me hit, because I know sometimes, Chris, I don't know what your schedule is. I know sometimes you can't stay on the whole time because you got other calls that you're a part of as well. So I'm going to start with Chris Selig first and ask her just a couple of questions. She just did her introduction, so you guys know who she is. She's been with the company 20 years. You guys know that her and Melissa Wilder are really good friends, business partners, and basically family. So you guys know her background, but what I want to talk about is just some things that you did to get yourself in a position to sell over 3,000 memberships. Some things you did to get yourself in a position to be recognized by the company, and what you've been doing with CDLP over the last 20 years. Now, I know the whole entire time you've been in the business, you haven't been a CDL, or I don't think you have. You can definitely let us know if you have. But we know, what can you give us here for the people who put that 1 in the chat that said that they want to walk the stage? What are some things that they can be doing to walk the stage? And congratulations for being recognized by the company on the 50th year anniversary.
Yes. And so I want to just share with each and every one of you is when I started this business 20 years ago, I worked a full-time job at the city of El Paso and didn't have much time to do anything. And my story, for those of you that may not know me, is I didn't get recruited into this business. I didn't go online and recruit myself. I was voluntold into this business. So yes, Melissa Wilder Peters is my best friend of 32 years. And when she came up to me, she said she was going to do this business. She said, look, you either join me or we can't spend a whole lot of time together. So that was like a pressure way of getting me in the business. So I joined the business 20 years ago, and I thank her every single day for doing that. But here's the thing. This is the reason I brought up the story, is that because I worked a full-time job, I didn't have time to do solutions. I didn't, or should I say, let me take that back. I didn't think I had time to do solutions. And she opened my eyes, because this was way before the field training program came about. And she said, listen, let's work our strengths and weaknesses together. And we can just share apps. We didn't have shared commissions back then either. So it was just sharing apps. So she said, do me a favor. What time do you go into work at? And I said 2 to 10. She goes, okay, before 2, when you wake up early in the morning, she goes, you get up, you make phone calls, you set those appointments, and you turn them over to me, and I'll do the rest and make both of us some money. Well, if for those of you that have field trained with me before, I have a 5-step sales process: prospecting, follow-up, DM, decision maker meeting, employee meeting, and servicing. And I always require my field trainees to do 1 and 2, the prospecting and the follow-up, and by setting up the appointment, and I do the last 3 steps. So I did the first 2 steps, and we were hitting consistently executive director. But we were working together. We worked our strengths and our weaknesses together. She didn't like being on the phone calling and making appointments. I had no problem with it. I'm not good at it, but I had no problem with it. So what my nugget to you guys is, if you're having, I don't care if you're 20 years in the business like I am, if you're having struggles, partner up with one of us. I'm not going to say just any field trainer, because I know a field trainer in the state of Texas that has sold 10,000 memberships, but not one CDLP, and probably wouldn't even know the language to speak to CDLP. But the reason I say this is partner up with one of us trainers, because we have the knowledge, we have the experience, and we have tougher skin than you do. So field training was a huge part of my career. It still is. There's times that, hey, if I need help, I'm not hesitant to call people for help at all. As far as my award, that's what got me to the 3,000, was partnering up and working my strengths and weaknesses with others that had the opposite of what I had. The next thing is going across stage and being recognized by the company. I'm just honored and privileged that the company chose me as one of the top 10 trainers of the years, because of the fact that it makes me happy knowing that I pour myself and my knowledge and experience into you all as the field, as my family, my PPLSI, I got to get used to that, my PPLSI family, and knowing that you all are, going out there and putting what you learn, not only from me, but from Sherranda, Robert, Lamar, John, and Alan, that you're going out there and you're putting what you learn, to work for you. So I hope that said something to you all about me. And I have to apologize, but yes, you're right, Robert. I have to get on another call. But thank you so much for all the support that you guys give all of us. It's not just me, not just Sherranda, not just Robert, but all of us as trainers, by attending these classes. And please make sure, one thing, we have training once a month. And this month, I'm not going to tell you who the guest trainer is, but we are having Mr. Fred Rahal on the call this month. So if you want to hear from the law firm, please make sure that you're on this month's call and let your team know as well. Thank you, Robert and Sherranda.
And Chris, real quickly before you go, I know you got to go. You didn't mention something. You are bilingual. So that's very important to understand that when it comes to a field trainer, not only is she a CDL field trainer, and it's not really assessed thing as a CDL field trainer, but a field trainer that specializes in CDL. But CDL has a lot of Hispanic speaking Latin drivers, company owners, and she is bilingual. So if you run into a company that is bilingual, please reach out to Chris Selig, because she talks that language. That is her language. It's tough.
And here's the funny thing about that, Robert, and you know this because you're down in Florida, is they know English, but they just feel more comfortable in the language they grew up with. So if you can meet them on their level, they're open to even trust you even more so. So yes, you all can find my name and number on the field trainers list on Ellis Engage. Feel free to call me. The best thing to do is text me first, make sure I got your information, and then I'll call you back within 24 hours. So thank you for that, Robert.
Absolutely. You got it. You enjoy the rest of your day. Chris, if you want to chime back in at any point, come on, chime in. We love to see you. We love to hear from you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Love you guys.
Absolutely. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. So that's Chris Selig, 20 years in the business, working in CDLP space and in the business solution space. there. So I want to reach out. I believe I saw him jump on. My man Arjun here. Arjun, unmute yourself and just let me know whether you're available before I mention bringing you on the talk.
I'm right here.
Okay, good. So, okay, good. You're on your white boat. Oh, that is so awesome. I'll say, give me a second. I'm gonna introduce you guys, but give me a second. So for those who are on here, put a 2 in the chat if you want to get into this business and know nothing at all. And end up being one of the top producers, you and your significant other in this business, by just taking notes on a call like this, calling the different trainers and field trainers to find out exactly what you need to be doing in this business. This next couple guys, this is exactly what they did. And I love this story. The same reason I love Sherranda's story is because I remember when there was no knowledge of CDLP. There was no understanding of what it took. And I mean, just all of the questions, and not just saying, let me single out one trainer, but no, let me ask everybody who has any experience in the business. And they went after like a big dog. Like, right, this wasn't no 20 trucks or 30 trucks. They went after a company with a significant amount of drivers. And they took the hard road, meaning that they learned their lesson in the field, dealing with the issues of the drivers, and they found out firsthand what it takes, and that when you sell to a company that big in CDL, they use the membership. So this is not one of your regular big companies where you go out there and you sell 100, 200, 300 memberships and 2 people get a wheel. Y'all know how I work with that legal plan. They scared to use it. This CDL plan, they will call you, they will bother you, they will call you during the stop, right? After they've been stopped, the police is writing the ticket, they're still trying to call you. So these guys learned in the midst, him and his wife. And lastly, I'm gonna say before I turn it over to Arjun and his wife, excuse me, Mrs. Joshi, for me not knowing your first name. I apologize so much for that. But full-time jobs, guys. Not only big trucking company, learned in the process, one of the top sellers in CDLP, but they both have full-time jobs, guys, while they're doing it. So I don't want to hear anybody say you can't do business solutions with a full-time job because they both got full-time jobs. So I'm gonna open up the Zoom to Arjun Joshi and his beautiful wife, who are running this business together, who have had a humongous amount of success. The floor is yours. Congratulations for all the celebration and all of the recognition.
Thank you, Mr. Robert, and hi everybody. This is Arjun again. I go by AJ, and I have Yamini here, person who got me going in this business. So, before I get started real quick, just want to know, Mr. Robert, is there anything particular you want me to talk about?
What I would say is, one, where you got the courage from to make the calls, to go after the companies that you went after, what lessons you would give people that you learned on opening up a big company, because you may say, it's okay to do what I did, but this is what you have to deal with. Or you may say, hey, go after the smaller company so you don't have to deal with what I did. Whatever, however you and your wife feel about it. Just some things so that they understand the process that you had to take, and that you did not do it by yourself. You reached out and you got information. And even like when you were calling me, I never wanted anything from your group. I never wanted to be a part of it or a split, because it was information. I didn't present, I didn't do anything. So using the field trainers and the trainers is not always about, hey, let me get some of your group. It's how can we help from a distance? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. So, I was basically, my journey with Legal Shield was that I wasn't in one lane. I was in a couple of lanes. I was trying to recruit. I was trying to do small business. If small business didn't work, then I would jump onto group. If group doesn't work, I would go back to networking. And I wasn't focused on one thing. So it wasn't working out for me. I mean, I was sending memberships here and there, but it wasn't something significant. So my story is basically, I just want to make extra money, $60 to $100 a month, or maybe about $500 a month. And so we started because of the necessity of what was happening with our family. I was against the wall. We had bills to pay, and it made me do things out of my comfort zone to make those phone calls. So when things weren't working out, I had to find out something that I would really enjoy doing. And so what I did was I got onto the CDLP training, and I went through the training, and I saw the value that, hey, that there is a value to out in the marketplace for this plan, but I didn't know where to start. I knew there was an opportunity, but I didn't know how to start. And so, getting on after the training, getting on the Monday night Zoom like this one here, and actually it was over the phone. There was no Zoom, it was the phone calls that we were calling into. And I would, literally, have my job finish at 5:30. So I have to leave my job at 5:30. I run to my car, dial in the number, put it on speakerphone, and while I'm driving home, I would be listening to the trainers and learning about the industry. And so what I did different was I was proactive enough to go on YouTube and look up trucking companies, what their life is like, what are the owners having issues with. Then I found out about FMCSA and all that information. So I kind of got a little bit of a knowledge of what trucking industry is. And then I went ahead and started making those calls, because when I was talking on the phone, I can relate to the safety director or the owners. But again, I was making phone calls, but I was failing because I wasn't connecting with them. I would give them information that say, I'll just send me the email and that's it. But I made one phone call that the owner operator was, hey, I'll need to talk to you about Legal Shield. And I thought it was a sale, but he was in Yuba City. Now, it was almost end of the month. I had bills due, so I needed to have a couple of memberships. And, I was like, okay, I have the sale. So if I go to Yuba City, which is about an hour away, I told my wife that, hey, I got an appointment. I got to go. I have a sale. We'll have a couple of $100 so we can pay our bills. So going down to the appointment, when I got there, the guy said, I already have Legal Shield. I just have a question about your CDLP plan. And I'm like, okay, well, there goes my sale. And it's okay. So I answered his question, but I asked him, I said, do you know any other trucking companies around here that I can stop by? And he said, there's a couple of them down when you go back home, there's a couple of yards that you can stop by. And there's a gas station where there is a parking for the truckings, and you can stop there and talk to the drivers. I'm like, okay, that's fine. That doesn't really do any good as a referral. So I got in my car, and now while I'm driving back, I'm thinking a reason to give my wife, to give her a reason that why didn't I have the sale? Because now I don't have a sale. And number two is that the bill's coming up that we need to pay. So when I'm driving down the road, I looked on my on my left hand side, and I saw this yard with about 50 to 60 trucks. And I said, it's too big for me. That trucking company is too big for me. If I stop by, I don't think I'm going to be wasting my time. I'd rather just go down the road and just go home. And so I got almost halfway, and I looked back. There was no traffic, and my heart said, turn around, make that U-turn. And I made a U-turn in the middle of a freeway. Luckily there was no cops. I made that U-turn, went to that company. I walked in, I said, hey, I'm from Legal Shield. I need to talk to the safety director. And luckily I had printed out the Lamar's script. Now that's my famous story right there. That Lamar script I had it because I was already nervous. I didn't have the confidence because my first appointment was not that great. And I didn't have the confidence to go talk to the safety director. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to read this Lamar's script. And so I went to the safety guy. I went there, I introduced myself. Hey, my name is AJ. And the safety guy, he introduced himself, and he says, hey, what can I do for you today? And I'm busy right now. And I said, just give me a second. I took the script out of my pocket. I opened it up and I read it word to word to word. And then when I looked at him, he was laughing. He was laughing so hard. And he says, you know what? You're the one person that walked in here today with a script in his hand. And I think I'll give you an opportunity, and you need to go talk to my ticket coordinator and let her know what you're doing. And from there, she will help you out. And so before I get to her, I asked him a favor. I said, hey, can you do me a favor? And he says, what? I said, can you introduce me to your ticket coordinator? So that way she can, give me a little bit of an attention. And he says, okay, that's fine. I said, she's busy, and I want to make sure she understands what I'm here for. And so he says, that's fine. So he called her over, introduced, he says, this is Mr. Joshi. Please give him 5 to 10 minutes, your undivided attention, and see what he needs to have to say. And so we went into a conference room, we sat down, and I took my presentation out, the flyer out, and I let her know that what we're doing for the drivers. And she says, yeah, I have a couple of drivers that already has tickets. Can you help them out? And I said, we can, as long as they just have to pay out of pocket. So she said, that's fine. So she gave me a couple of numbers. I called the drivers. The problem is they had to pay for the attorneys, and they were not willing to do that. And so I didn't get a sale there. So this went along for a year, and I wasn't getting anywhere. So I went back to the company, and this time what I did was, when I walked in, I think it was my lucky day. When I walked in that morning, there was a lady right behind the counter, and she turned around and she says, what can I do for you? And I said, ma'am, I'm here from Legal Shield. I need to talk to the safety. And she looks at my shirt and she says, Legal Shield, I have you guys. I need you to come in my office, and I have some questions for you. So she goes in, she calls her HR person. We're sitting there, and I don't know who this lady is. And she starts asking me about the business plan. We talk about that. We start talking about the CDLP. And then she says, do you really know who I am? And I said, no, ma'am, I don't. I apologize. And she says, you know what? I am the COO of the company. I write the checks, and I'm interested in your program. And I said, whoa, okay. And I kind of said, wow, this is amazing. So she said, yeah, I like the business plan, which we have. We need to upgrade, but talk to me about the CDLP. So I let her know what we do for the CDLP. She says, you need to come back on Monday. I'm going to make an appointment with my husband, and you can tell him what you have for the CDL. Now, folks, I didn't know how big this company was. I only saw the 40 trucks on the yard. That was just 1% of their trucks. When I came home and I pulled them up, they had 900 units, and they have 1,000 drivers. Now, do you get nervous with that? Yes, I did. So I picked up the phone and I called Mr. Dunbar, and I said, hey, I have this group. What do I need to do? How do I do to set up? And he asked me a couple of questions. He says, hey, you need to do this, this, and this. You need to make sure you take your flyers, your group authorization, make sure you have, everything in order. And if there's anything, just give me a call, and we'll go from there. And I said, yeah, I'm going tomorrow at 8:00. I'll give you a call around 10 if there's something comes up. And he says, fine. So I go back on Monday. I get there, and the owner was ready for me. He was there. He sat down, and I was nervous, obviously. And I started letting him know about, the CDLP plan, how it's going to help him out. And I basically, folks, I just went through the whole program. I didn't even ask him if this is going to be a good fit for his drivers, because I was so nervous about getting there. Now, number two, after doing the presentation, he looks up at me and says, I don't think this is going to work for my drivers. He shut me down right there for the first try. He says, it's not going to work for my drivers. I don't see that they're going to sign up. We have a lot of drivers coming in. And I paused for a minute, and I still had that Lamar script on with the paperwork. So I flipped the Lamar's script, and I go where it says on the script that, hey, if we can go to court and we get a positive result, with that, that would benefit the company and the driver, because they wouldn't get no points. So I told him exactly what was on the script, and he looked up and he says, well, tell me more about it. And I said, well, you have drivers, they get citations. If we can go to court and fight those tickets and make sure that, we can get the positive result in court, that means they don't get a point. That means you don't get a point. And he says, hey, that's a plus. I like that. He says, well, we have two locations. We have one in Phoenix, one in LA, and one in here in Yuba City. How are you going to service it? And I said, well, I'll figure that out. But what I need is to get in front of the drivers. He says, okay, I will see what I can do. So he calls his safety director. He comes in and says, hey, do you know AJ? And he says, yeah, I know AJ has been coming here for last year or a year and a half. And he says, he's a good guy. He's trying to do, a good for our drivers. So he says, okay. He says, AJ can have half hour of the orientation in class. He can have half hour, and let him have half hour so he can give the spiel to the drivers. And from there, folks, we have a good relationship with the owners, because he saw, after a year, he saw the positive results for his company. And not only that, he started referring me to the other companies, and that's how I got to executive director, and then to bronze executive director. I know I took a little bit more time there, Mr. Robert, but what I want to do is I want to give some time for my wife, because she just came back from the convention, and people who have their spouse in the business, or if the spouse is having a full-time job and you're doing Legal Shield full-time, sometimes the spouse is very important in this business, because they push you, they motivate you, because not everybody is in a situation where they have money coming in, there's bills they're paying every month from Legal Shield. There's some tough times that we have seen in our journey to where we at. And if it wasn't my spouse, I don't think I would have reached to this position, because not only kicking my butt, but also put the dreams in front of us, and put our goals and say, hey, this is my goal, this is my dream, and we need to get to our dreams. We need to have those things. So without further ado, I want to put her on the spotlight and just give her experience with Legal Shield, CDLP, and the convention. And so here's Yamini.
Hello, everyone. My name is Yamini Thakur, and I would like to just say that if you have spouse, if you're a spouse of someone, just build healthy relationship with your husband and wife, and talk every day. Discuss your plan with each other. Work out the plan. Make a guideline how you will follow every day. And I would also mention that when we went to Phoenix last year for the convention, I asked AJ, is Mr. The company owner is in the town? We can just go and say hi to him and meet the drivers if they are available there, and meet the safety team and everybody in person, so that we build the relationship with them, because he has been just talking to them over the phone all the time. So we took extra time. We stayed there one more day, and we went to the company. And luckily, the owner was there, and he was very happy to see both of us. And he gave us a personal time. He talked to us very nicely and discussed his business plan ahead. And he was very happy with our services and stuff. So working with each other worked out. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you, everyone.
So Arjun, so you and your wife, don't y'all kind of split the duties? Doesn't she do some administrative things for the business while you're in the field, kind of deal? And I want you to mention that just because there's a lot of couples in this business, and they can't even figure out how to work together. And I get it. So it's you got to know strengths and weaknesses. So for you to be doing field stuff or whatever part of it you do, she's doing administrative work. You guys are working as a team and building a business together, plus both have full-time jobs. So if you could just mention that real quick, that would be great.
So here's the important. Here's one thing important. This is a business. Okay. When it comes to business, there is no relationship there. You're not husband and wife. You're partners at that point. So you have accountability. So when I do the presentations, the applications comes in, she does the applications, goes through the applications, but then we have goals, we have premiums that we have to meet. If we don't meet, then there's a disagreement. That there is somebody is going to say something that's going to really hurt your feelings. Well, it's business. It's just like having a CEO and the co-CEO, or a boss and an employee, because things weren't done. So you have to understand, between 9 and 5, you're business partners. After that, you're husband and wife. So that shouldn't come in between the relationship. When 5 o'clock ends, you're done with your work, and then you now are husband and wife. Now because business is business, folks. It is the important. It pays the bills. So my job is to bring the business in. Her job is to make sure that the applications are done, the emails are sent out, the apps are set. Now, there's one more person that we have. It's helping us out. It's my brother-in-law. He's helping us out, and he's helping us out to make sure that the apps are uploaded on their phones, or he contacts the drivers and make sure the apps are working, and walks them through the process to how to submit the tickets and what to expect from the law firm. And then, and make sure if they have any questions, they can direct it back to me. If the driver calls, he can pick up a phone call and take a message, so I can get back to the drivers. So that means they don't miss me, because I'm working between 9 and 5:30. And also, we make sure that our job is, we know our responsibilities. What are our responsibilities? What needs to be done end of the day? So that is how we work. We work as a team. Now, yes, there's disagreements. Yes, she gets mad at me sometimes because I do something crazy. Sometimes I say a lot of things in my presentation, and she'll come and after the presentation, she's going to say, hey, you said a lot of this. You don't say those things, or you made a mistake. You should not have said that, or sometimes, a driver will call me, and I probably give him advice, because, my mind is to help those drivers out. And because we've been around this industry a lot, we know certain things, how certain things work. And then she will say, hey, you know what, let the attorney do their job. Why are you saying those things that are not, that's kind of legal, but we say things? And she's like, no, let the attorney do their job. Just tell them, hey, call the attorneys, they will take care of that situation. So, sometimes, so there is a dialogue back and forth, or a discussion back and forth. And then every month, end of the month, we do our goals. We look at the things that we made a mistake with, or if I made any mistake, or she made any mistake, so we go through and we make sure that we don't do the next month, so, and we always have our accounts. We see how many memberships we brought in, what was the income, what was, how many chargebacks we had, because, CDLP, you're going to have chargebacks, when you have a large amount of applications coming in. And so we want to make sure we do the pre-cancellation calls, who was on the pre-cancellation list. So, we do all that, and we plan our months out. Does that make sense?
It does. No, it does. No, and that's good. And it's you're almost kind of doing a whole separate training there when
Right.
you're talking about that stuff, because they need to be, you have to, say inspect what you expect. And it's a lot of us, we just doing business, and the end of the month close, we take a quick break, and then we start it all over again. And we're letting the back office, right, be our place that we go check and see how everything went. When really you should have a separate system of, okay, what are our goals this month? You should have time to, right, week, month in review. What are we doing this month? to increase our numbers or keep them the same or open up a new business. Those are all things you have to do. And when you can do that with the person that you're married to, man, I'm telling you, it makes a big, big, big difference when you guys are building something together. As opposed to she's doing her thing, you're doing your thing, you guys are doing your own thing, but then you guys are working together. And one of the key things there that you guys are doing is that you have to give the person that you're dealing with in that situation permission to be transparent, to be able to say, hey, you screwed that up. Hey, you're talking too much, right? You're not talking enough, right? You said, let the attorneys do their job, quit doing that part. Let us do what we do and let them do what they do. You have to be able to do that with that person and not damage the marriage part of it. So exactly. That's so very important. So I really want you guys to, the two of you, to, if you guys can really kind of get that structured in a way, not in y'all's life, but on paper somewhere. So when we do this fourth annual, you guys can talk about that on the fourth annual, because it's really important. It's really important that you understand that it's not just business.
Right.
It's not just business, and that when your significant other understands this too, and y'all work together, that y'all can, it's the difference in the levels that you can reach when you're working with somebody that you care about and that's willing to tell you, hey, what you did right, what you did wrong, you guys can celebrate together. So I appreciate everything you guys are bringing to the table, the journey you guys have together, in a way that you guys are doing it, not just as business partners, but as a family. So hopefully everybody can learn something from that. And we're gonna hear a lot more from Arjun and his wife for the fourth annual, because we're gonna have them on there as well, just because, I mean, 50K ring earners, executive director, they hadn't accomplished any of those goals before they started really running in the CDLP space. So we're going to talk about those journeys and how it's been to benefit them as in their marriage and in their house to be executive directors and 50K income earners on top of the income that they had coming in the first place. So thank you guys again. Appreciate y'all's story. No, it wasn't too long. It's information. Anybody that fell asleep, somebody need to slap them woke because they just missed some good information.
Well, you know, one thing, Mr. Dunbar, you know, end of the month when you need the premiums, right? You kind of get on the greedy side of things, and it happens. It happens. All of us, we're humans. Sometimes, you know, I'll get a call from a driver because it's a referral. They got 2 accidents. Their license is almost suspended. They are, you know, I mean, they shouldn't be on the road, number one. And they will call you and say, hey, can I get you? I'm going to buy right now. I want that CDLP plan. I want the family plan. You know, I want it right now, as long as you can help us and help, you know, help with my license so I can get back the license. I can go back to work. And I learned from her, because when I talk to drivers, I'm always on speakerphone, because then she can hear. And if I'm doing something wrong, she can stop me. And sometimes in the month, I might say, hey, I can help you. And she'll come around the corner and she's like, cut it off. You know, just tell them no, you know, because you have to tell them no. Hey, I can help you because you're far beyond gone, you know, to come back to use our legal shield plan. You know what I mean? They have 2 crashes. They have so many tickets. They didn't turn up to court. They have FTAs. You know, you can't do anything about that. So learn to say no sometimes to those businesses.
So again, something else that you just said, if you can package that up, because those are very good selling tips that everybody's not a cut. I train this all the time. A good running business is one that does not have a bad partner, does not have bad customers, and does not have a bad product. So having bad customers will make your business go haywire. So to be able to say, no, that's not our customer, right? Not worth the money we're gonna make on them, not worth the headache, not worth the time. Turn them loose and let somebody else get them somewhere else down the line. That's not it takes a lot of posture to do that. And it's important on your business running like an engine so that you're not taking everybody. So that's definitely something else that we would love to hear more on, how that's been able to help you guys maintain a good book of business by not spending time with somebody who can use the service, but is not the best customer. It's not the best customer. Man, that is great. That is great. And it's good to see the growth too, guys, because we've interviewed you guys 2 or 3 different times. And it's like, it's always growth. It's always growth. And I pay attention to that. So congratulations again to the both of you for all the success.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Talk to you guys soon. Good stuff. Good stuff. So who else do we have? Because obviously, but so many people recognize at this convention that we don't have time in an hour to talk to everybody. But we're gonna get to who we can. I think Sharon Holiday is on now. Sharon Holiday, are you in a place to unmute yourself?
Yes, I am. I'm on my Chromebook, so my picture's not showing. Letting me get in right now. But yes, congratulations to everyone that attended the convention virtually as well as live. And definitely congratulations to Sherranda for walking across the stage several times. I think about 6 or 7 times, but I didn't get a chance to see that because I was coming off of stage. And definitely Arjun and your wife, congratulations most definitely for the achievements and the success that you all are having, as well as Sherranda and Robert and everybody else. But I'm grateful for this CDLP space. I'm learning so much more information each week, even from our accountability call with the questions that the team ask of Sherranda. And to add to my arsenal, I'm with my field training status. 95% came from the CDLP space. I was only in for 7 months and got the 6th top field trainer for the year in that category with 10 other people. And so I'm eternally grateful for you all asking the questions of the trainers and giving your answers to each and every one. I think now for me, it's just going to be no shiny bells, whistles that was put on the table. That's not it for me. I'm just going to keep my head down. On Friday, when I was in convention, I got 3 text messages and I was up until 12 midnight submitting group authorization forms just for people that was referred to me, in addition to an existing client of adding new benefits, adding new applications to their existing membership. So I am just totally grateful for that. So even if your phone rings or get a text message, make sure you return those calls or those texts, because it could be profitable. We're in the business of protecting families. And just because I was in convention, I was not going to protect them or call them back. I had the hotel printing out copies after copies after copies for me because their in-house business center printer wasn't available. But I'm grateful for technology. I have a scanner on my phone where I was able to scan over that information, upload it from my telephone and send it to corporate, so I didn't miss a beat. I didn't have to wait till I got back here to the state of Florida to send that information up. I want my members and my clients covered immediately. That's what they expect from me for customer service. And I'm just so grateful that I do give excellent customer services by sending a thank you card to my members, checking on them to see if they've uploaded the app and or gotten their wills prepared. You know, I'll email over the will questionnaire if they have misplaced it or anything like that. Giving them the contact information for the law firm, the CDLP law firm, especially for the drivers. I have a driver now that I'm waiting for his membership to go through, so we can call the law firm at 8:30 in the morning to get him in their system so he can get an assigned attorney out of California. He never received a ticket before, but when I spoke to him almost 3 weeks ago, he had 100% from one of his drivers, and that driver did not tell him. And, you know, that's how his information came across my desk. With me searching the truckdriver.com, his numbers came up for my area. And so, you know, lo and behold, chest out, you know, I don't get tickets, but yeah, 3 weeks after I spoke to you, you got a ticket. That driver, unfortunately, he quit, didn't tell him that he had received a citation for speeding. So I'm just grateful that I'm able to read the SAFER report, know what I'm saying like the back of my hand, and be able to assist the drivers. One of my companies, group authorization form, is a substantial amount, and they had the plan before, but that particular associate, unfortunately, she was milli vanilli with the account. but they did like the account. It fell off the books. She tried to put them on a payroll deduction, but she didn't put them on a proper payroll deduction. And the HR representative was just getting applications coming in all times of the month and everything else, and that really screwed up her processing. So when that group account fell off, my platinum reached out to me and said, hey, we know that you're in the CDLP space. You speak the language. We want you to reach out to them and get this account back on the books. You can have the account, but we know that those drivers need it. And so I reached out to the young man. I think we're in March the 5th. And I only had a 5-minute conversation with him. I reintroduced myself to him as this newest motor carrier consultant for the area that, Jane Doe life issues that came about, but I want to see if I can get on your calendar again to get you all back on the calendar. He said, yeah, just send the paperwork over. It's not that easy all the time, but I was grateful that they had it in the past. And, like I said, it's over 100-man account. And he's just ready. He was the one that sent the application over to me on Friday because I told him I was traveling. Could he please get it back to me before I, start traveling? But even though I was traveling, I still have access through technology to send up his returned authorization form to corporate so we can get that rolling. I just got his website up. I'm reviewing it right now to make sure all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. So I can email him in the morning. He has 17 drivers that got citations since February. Those are the first 17 that I want to speak to and get them on the books if they have not paid that citation yet. And if they're nearing the court date, to request extension, the continuance from the courts. That way we can find him an attorney without being under duress as a referral attorney. So with that being said, Mr. Dunbar, I turn the call back over to you, sir.
No, I appreciate that. Really, really great information there. So guys, a lot on maintaining an account, a lot on understanding posture, knowing when you go into a company, when a company tell you that they're not interested, you have to understand that sometimes they don't know why they should be interested. And we've heard that several times from several different trainers and testimonials, how that happens. We cannot let that first no knock us out the business. Same thing, man. You're gonna keep hearing this repetitive story. It was like Sharon's been in the business for a long time, and she was kind of just running at the same speed. And then she all of a sudden just said, you know what? I'm ready to go. And she took off and didn't look back. And this is what happens a lot of times. You'll see people that they're kind of running this cycle, and then they just make a decision that, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it up. And they turn it up. And what you will see in every case is that when you do the thing, right, you'll hit your numbers. And it's really just that simple. It's not about knowing everything. It's about being willing to do it. So in our June, in his wife's case, they didn't know. They just said, you know what, we've got to do something different. And they pushed. And what happens is when you push, it comes back, right? Now, Sharon knew the business already. She had been in a long time. She knew the language and everything, but she just wasn't pushing as hard as she could. And then when she decided she was going to push, guess what happened? It came back. And you'll see the same thing with Sherranda. Sherranda was working different areas of the business. Then she came, she was like, hey, look, CDL is my space. And then she focused on that, and she put the time and energy, and guess what came back? 50K ring, 2 LOJ awards. Guys, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how much information you know. What matters is if you're going to dedicate your time and energy to something, it is going to pay off. And you'll see that time and time again, whether it's Legal Shield or anything else. If you put your time and energy into something, it will pay off. That's without a doubt, right? It's just been proven. So I would tell you, look at these stories, look at these different situations, and understand that all it takes is for you to make a decision. When I got my 50K ring, right before my 100K ring, I've made a decision. And my upline, who was Mike Humes, he told me after I got my 50K ring, he said, when you called me and told me to hold you accountable, you was gonna get your 50K ring, he said it was something different in your voice when you said at that time. I can tell that you had made a decision to really do it this time. And it was, I had been saying several times, I'm gonna be ED, I'm gonna get my 50K ring. I kept saying it, but I wasn't doing the activity. I was just saying the thing. I was just saying the politically correct thing. You guys have all been. Y'all just left the convention. And they said, who's gonna be the next ED? Who's gonna be the next ring earner? You raise your hand out of political correctness, but you have no intention on changing your activity. These individuals that we're hearing from, they literally changed their activity. And that's the difference. Right? They were already here, but they changed their activity. And when they changed their activity, they changed their level in the business. So congratulations, Sharon. Thank you so much for your testimonial. Congratulations for walking the stage. And we celebrate you as a field trainer, as a person that's active in your own personal business as well. So I'm going to go out to Sherranda, but I'm going to ask you a question, Sherranda, because I really don't want to cut your testimonial short. You got like 7 awards. You got another LOJ. I really want to spend some time talking to you. So you the boss. So I'll rather do you next week because I don't want to try to push that. How you feel when you're in?
That's fine, honey, because ain't gonna be taken away next week.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So you might get another award between this week and next week somehow. So we definitely gonna talk to Sherranda because again, man, I'm telling you, it was like the Oscars all over again. Like this girl walked the stage. I mean, all I got was text messages and pictures. And I mean, she just kept walking the stage. And guys, 2 LOJ awards. I don't even know if there's anybody else in the company who has 2 LOJ awards that's not a 6-figure ringer. I don't think I know anybody else that has 2 that's not a 6-figure ringer. So it's like, it's just a big deal seeing the activity and how it pays off and how when you focus your time, how when Sherranda and her husband decide that they're going to do something. And again, like I said about the Joshua family, right? The full-time job, Sherranda has a whole separate company running on the side of all this, guys. So she's not only got 2 LOJ awards and all these other accolades, but she's running a logistics business on the side of all of that. So I just don't want to hear a whole lot about, I don't have time and I don't have this and all that. She's got kids. She got a husband. Like this is not a woman with no kids, no spouse, no full-time job, just out here doing legal shit whenever she feels like it. She's running a business and has an entire family that she has to look after on top of all of that. So guys, next week, we're going to talk to Sherranda about everything she did, what made her make a decision to go after small business first. How she got 2 LOJ awards and what has it been, 12 months? You got them both in 12 months, within 12 months?
No, I got one field trainer of the year for 2019 and then this year for 2021.
Okay, so within a 2-year time span, 2 LOJ awards, right? How she got a 50K ring, how her and her partner ran in sync to get 50K rings within days of each other. Right? The workout partner, how they did that in sync. We're going to talk about all those things next week. So next week, we're going to open up by starting with Sherranda, and we're going to just go as far as that goes because definitely a lot of celebration and a lot to unpack with her success in that role too. I know because I know a 100K ring is probably coming sometime soon. I haven't asked her numbers, but I know she's working on them. So guys, tune in next week for that. We're going to hear more from that, but I'm going to turn it over to you, Sherranda, just in case you got anything general that you want to say about anything else that's going
on. Well, no, I guess for just for us, for Lewis Jenkins and I, just starting on Thursday, a lot of people always ask, why you continue to do what you do. Like you got the ring, you've made yourself credible with the company, now, it's like slow down. And I did slow down a little bit this year because, for 9 years, I've been running for the ring. We come into the business and that's what they, everybody focus on, either it's ED or the ring, I guess. But for me, what was so fulfilling starting with Thursday, just to see like AJ on the stage and, Donna on the stage, these are the people I train. I mean, even Sharon, I know my training taught her, but it was a lot of CDL people there that got recognized. And that brought me the most joy, that I wasn't up there by myself, to see my workout partner, up there. Last year I was on the panel. but to see, you know, CDL making their mark in the company and getting recognition. I mean, all 4 of the trainers that were present, we walked the stage. I mean, we know we haven't seen that ever, you know, so it's just that I, you know, was so emotional this weekend. I held it together, you know, in person, but, you know, going back to the room, it was just really emotional this weekend. And, you know, because my family was like, we don't see any pictures, but, just having to get it all together, man. And just, you know, it just was a lot, you know, and people still don't know the story, but they know enough, right? And that, you know, but that just this weekend just really brought me a lot of joy, you know, just to see others get celebrated for the focus and, you know, and what we do here on Monday nights, you know, what you guys created, what you created, you know, because this hasn't always been here. You created this platform. And so that's really just was an emotional weekend. And I was just so overwhelmed with all the success of this space, you know, and the recognition that corporate gave. So that's all I, you know, really want to say, you know, definitely tonight. We won't hold them up.
Good stuff. Good stuff. No, and we look forward to next week hearing the entire journey of everything that happened. You know, the success that you've been having and all the little things that you're doing. And just for people to know that there's no magic dust. It really is just doing the thing that needs to be done. And that's what everybody needs to understand. So Sherranda Ivey has an accountability call in the CDLP space on Thursdays. If you don't know how to get on that, if you don't know how to get plugged into that, go to the CDLP Facebook page. And when you scroll down, you'll see a welcome sign. It's going to say welcome. And then when you click on that, it'll give you the details on how to get involved. And of course, we're here every Monday doing this from 8:30 to 9:30. I know that there's a CDLP coming. Do we have the date for the new CDLP training that's coming up, Sherranda?
Yeah, it's the 23rd.
The 23rd of April.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the 23rd of April, guys, there'll be a CDLP training. So get registered. I will put something together and put it on the page as well. I'll also put a banner up here to remind you all to get plugged into that. And Chris Selig is training with Lamar?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I think that's
Selig. Gotcha. For those, I sent an email out earlier today or twice. I actually sent 2 emails, one at 10 in the morning and one I think at like 8 o'clock. But the 8 o'clock one, right behind it, the email, there was another one that came behind it that said CDL downloadable documents. So for those that didn't get those last 2 documents we went over here on this call, I sent it in an email. So if you don't see it, just look in your spam or whatever. It should be in there, but it went out right behind the email, reminding you guys all of this call. So we definitely appreciate you guys all being. Oh, I'm gonna throw this link in the chat too, real quick. Some of you got an email already. I believe Jackie got an email already. Sherranda may have gotten an email already. There's a few. I'm not going to go look through the list and see what it is, but I believe it's about 5 or 6 of you guys that already got an email about this business summit that we have coming up. I know some of you guys have been asking me about it, but I didn't put it out. I wanted to wait till everybody came back from convention. I wanted people to focus on the convention and not be looking at that. It's not until May. The business autopilot summit is not until May. I'm going to be going over organizing your business and automating your business and going over all Google apps. Larry will be going over the sales process, going over HubSpot, showing you how to create emails, creating emails, scripted emails, showing you how to respond to emails from your group customers that you're trying to open up groups. So it's going to be automation in the sales process. We also have Miss Ariel Simone is going to be doing a 4-hour training on Reels and Instagram and how to convert your Instagram following into business with Legal Shield. So she's going to be covering that for about 4 hours there. And then we also have Mr. Harold Branch that's going to be talking on the psychological side of how your mindset should be to build your business. So we've got 4 trainers for a 4-day summit. It's called the Business Autopilot Business Summit. It is 4 days. It is 16 hours. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's in May 19th through the 22nd. That's what that link is that I just put in there for that training event. So for those who are asking about the link, that's it. So you can get registered through that link right there, and then you'll get a bunch of emails and stuff afterwards once you get registered. And there's also going to be trainings leading up into that event. So starting April 18th, we're going to be doing, April 20th on that Wednesday, we're going to be doing a weekly training for 45 minutes leading up to the convention, just giving you some more information on sales and other things like that. Using apps, using Asana, using task management, all those kind of things. We're going to be doing those as well. That's going to lead into that. So if you have any questions about that, just shoot me an email back. For those that wanted to get involved in that, if you don't, it's not a Legal Shield training, guys. It's on business. So if you're in Legal Shield and you're good, you get your Legal Shield training, you got your stuff going, don't register for that. That's strictly for people who want business training. That's why it's called Business Autopilot Summit. So it's not going to be covering Legal Shield. It's going to be covering you as a business owner, running your business, growing your business, building your business, and putting it on automation so that you won't have to spend so much time sitting behind a desk. But if you decide you're going to go out of town for a month and your business still make the same amount of money or more, you're in a position to do that. So we look forward to seeing you guys again next week, Monday. We'll be hearing from Sherranda on this deal, guys. Thanks for sticking with us again for 13 minutes past 9:30. I know you guys got other stuff to jump on. So everybody, when you leave in, congratulate those people that spoke again. Sherranda, Sharon, and Chris Selig, who I believe is gone now. So Priscilla, you had a question?
No, I don't. I hit the wrong button.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
All right, June Jossie, you got a statement or question?
Yeah, a quick statement. I just, every time I meet Sherranda, thank you, because we were praying to get saved and she was the blessing. And sometimes that happens. And now we're not friends, but we're such a good family because my wife and Sherranda is just like sisters from another mother, what I mean? So, it is the relationship you build. And the other thing is that, we always, I always look at the business solutions reports. And that's my motivation because, hey, Sherranda is number 5, number 6. Hey, I got to be up there because, she trained and there's got to be results. Because if she sees those numbers, she's going to appreciate that because what she put in, and again, she's not getting paid for any of this, right? She just helped me. So I'm doing the same thing now for new associates. I'll meet somebody somewhere and they say, hey, I need some help. Hey, I'm open to help because we got to pay it forward. But again, Ms. Sherranda, Ivey, thank you very much. It was a blessing that I came to that accountability call and it changed everything.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. Plus, Sherranda might not answer your phone call in on that leaderboard. Sherranda be like, you got to get your numbers up or I'll take your call.
Absolutely.
Hey, and that's what we train on. And that's seriously speaking. That's not a shot. Like, you have to earn people's time, right? You got to earn people's time. You can't not expect people who are producing to answer your phone call when you won't even make calls. Right, when you won't even attempt to make things happen. So our Joe probably knows that. How he got on a leaderboard, the quicker people start answering their phones, they're like, "Oh, this guy working, this wife working." Right? What do they want? Right? And now you can give information to some of the people. So I know you can probably now tell me some stuff that I'm not even dealing with because I don't have a company as big as your company. Because I know for sure I call Sherranda for stuff. I remember when she used to call me and she don't even call me no more. I got to call her and ask her questions. That's the deal, man. I love it. That's success. That's growth. That's evolution. That's what I love to see. Absolutely.
Mr. Hicks, I really appreciate you, Mr. Hicks. I know you're looking for a phone call. I appreciate you though. You'll get it. I'm getting ready to go to bed tonight, so don't call me. But I'm gonna call you, Mr. Hicks. I promise. Okay. I know he's somewhere on here because he's messaging me.
Yeah, he good people too, Mr. Hicks. I know. Good people.
I owe him a call. He said, "Sounds good." Okay, as long as you know. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you guys again for joining us. We appreciate you guys, and we'll continue celebrating our recognized CDLP associates here on this call, on this Zoom next week. So you guys have, if you're still traveling, be safe. If you're home now, get some rest so you can get back busy. So we appreciate you guys all the time in with us. So everybody have a good evening.
Thank you, Robert, for hosting it and all the trainers. Thank you.
Yes, congratulations to all.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
Congratulations and thank you again.
I think Mr. Tim got
Thank you. Good night,
a
everyone.
$25 gift card or something, I think.
Alvin, really? Alvin?
Yeah, at the Solutions Breakout, $250, I think, right, sir? Did you get some money?
$250.
Right, I thought so.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations, everybody. Thank you all so much for sharing once again. Every week after week, I get something good. I appreciate it, and I look forward to sharing my experiences to help somebody someday. They say you copy the right cats, right?
Yes. Your someday is this week. Get it, let it happen, Yolanda.
Thank you, darling.
Half the battle is showing up, so you keep showing up, you'll get it.
Yeah.
All right.
AJ, thanks for
night,
coming
guys.
over, saying hello. Thank you.
You're
Next
welcome,
time you
sir.
gotta bring your wife along at the same time
Oh,
and
that's
say
AJ.
hello.
Yeah.
That's good.
Good stuff, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
God bless you all.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Yeah.